Guess who's back? Back again.
We are an unusual couple, you know.
We're back. I feel like we've made that video every month, but
No,
we've made it 4 to 5 times in the existence of this podcast.
No, I'd say maybe 4, but they've all been
3 at least.
They've all been for a valid reason.
Okay.
One time, I was busy with school. I had school. I was in la escuela.
Mm-hmm.
Then, I was in a severe depressive episode.
Okay.
Mentally unhealthy because of my skin.
Yes.
So A, I didn't want my face on camera regardless. And B, I was just mentally not there. And that is valid. I don't care what you say. You're going to invalidate my
No, I'm not invalidating anything.
mental health? Okay,
Nope.
good. And this time, at least those are the 3 I can remember. This time, it took about a month and a half off because we went through like this long stretch of time where you went out of town like 2 weekends in a row. And then we moved. Hey, we're in a different...
We are in a new set
up, if you will.
In a sunroom, actually. Our sunroom set.
The sunroom of our apartment, which AKA is my room, but on days we film the podcast, it's the podcast room.
Yep.
So all these shelves are all my crap.
Yeah.
And then there's stuff over here for my paintings.
With the lovely little section here to substitute props based on what we're discussing.
Yes.
That might be the best part.
Yes. And then, yeah, we moved.
We moved about a month ago today.
And
literally.
then we went to LA for a week.
We did do that?
We've been
Why'd we
dealing
go
with
there?
people getting married. So we've been going to weddings.
Basically, it's been going. Now we can actually settle and we can bring the podcast back.
Which we've wanted to.
Yeah.
Sorry, not to interrupt you.
No, you're fine.
It's not like it's been something we've forgotten. Every week we're like, another week without the podcast. Damn.
We see the comments.
Yeah, trust me. We do.
We see the comments. But it's back now, and I can never guarantee... I'm never comfortable guaranteeing there's an episode next week. But there are ideas and a lot to discuss.
Yeah, we have a lot to
We have a lot of
catch
catching up to do. When was the last episode? I think it was May 1st, May 2nd. It was a Marvel bracket, I want to say. We went through the brackets. The brackets are fun. I still want to bring those back at some point. But it's been a while since we've done an episode, obviously. So,
Thundering.
Was it May 1st? It is thundering outside, but it's also simultaneously sunny outside. That's
also not
that's Georgia weather for
It's
you.
not the first time it's rained today either.
No, it is not. Let's
The
see.
last episode we did was May 1st.
May 1st, so it's been almost 3 months?
No, 2 months.
No. June 1st,
When I look
July 1st.
When I look at YouTube, it says
YouTube's
2 months.
always
So
behind. It doesn't
that's what we're going to go with.
Okay. Girl math.
Girl math is...
Cam lying to her about numbers.
I also have a poor concept of time, so
You
I
do.
literally thought that it's been a month.
3.
1.5. Let's meet in the middle.
All summer. We took summer break off. We took the summer movie season, the busiest time of our movies and TV shows.
Well, because we
took it
were
off.
also so
I know.
busy.
We were.
We were
Personally,
so
we had a lot
busy.
going on, and we moved, obviously. But
We moved.
let's just go through everything we've done since then. You have like a camera roll that can kind of almost guide us.
Oh, yeah. Let me look.
I feel like that's a good guide.
That is such a good guide. That's such a good idea. I didn't even
like
think
this
about
is gonna make you feel like what happened to time. We saw the
Where
Phantom Menace in
does
theaters,
time go?
and we did a track with Blue Milk, and that was after our last podcast episode. Like that's how long it's been.
So we talked about seeing No Way Home and stuff in theaters. Not No Way Home. TASM movies.
Yes, we saw the Spider-Man. We saw 5 of them in theaters, and then we
Okay.
didn't do the MCU.
So I'm going to keep it a buck. Nothing much happened in the month of May after that, according to my camera
Well,
roll.
to me, I went on 2 different trips,
That's why there's nothing in my camera roll.
and and then we did see the Phantom Menace
And that's why the podcast died out.
because of my 2 trips.
It started with your 2 trips.
Fair.
That was the catalyst.
Fair.
Then we move into June. May and June was very Bridgerton for me.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, I haven't even talked to you about Bridgerton. I've talked to my YouTube about Bridgerton ad nauseum almost.
I haven't seen it, so I have nothing.
We
to
were
add.
down. We were down for a minute. We were down bad. For derogatory for a minute with season 3. Season 3 is not my favorite, but guys, Benedict is gonna be season 4 officially. So we are so back. We've never been so back in the fandom. We're so up. It's crazy.
And I may never watch season 3. So.
You will.
One day. I don't care
We'll
to.
watch on PMI.
I'm not against Bridgerton. This is no secret. Yeah, I will. That's the only
You
way.
really don't like Colin.
No.
He's really anti-Colin Bridgerton.
I just don't really care about that season. I don't.
Watch it for the
don't
other
care.
people. Watch
Yeah.
it for the others. At the beginning of June, we decided to move. We were looking at apartments.
Yeah, even in May, we were looking at the process was a few months long.
Mm-hmm.
April, May, June. We finally got out at the end of June, obviously, but that was always looming over my mind, at least.
Yeah.
So this had to take a back seat for a bit.
We watched Inside Out 2.
Inside Out 2 did a lot of Pixar stuff. What else was in June?
I saw Caitlin Clark play in person.
You did.
So slay.
Very
Love
cool.
Caitlin Clark.
Also in June, we saw A Quiet Place Day 1.
So good.
Thoughts on the film now? It's been about a month.
Phenomenal still. I think it's a really
I
great
still like
movie.
it quite a bit. Yeah,
One of my favorites of the year so far.
It's up there for me, but it isn't my favorite of the year. My favorite of the year we'll talk about later in
That's
this
why I
video
said
or this podcast.
One of my favorites. And then we moved. End of June. Very end of June, we moved in. And we've been moving in ever since, in a way.
Yeah, nothing's ever set in stone, I found. Like, we don't have...
Like, every day you find something that you don't have, and you're like, well, now I have to buy that.
Yep. And, wall space, we're trying to figure that out. Like, a lot of the walls surprisingly blank.
Mostly just in the living room. Our office is...
Living room is not it's my least favorite room.
The office, and I can work on that probably later today, honestly, because I have the markings for the
Just a lot of stuff needs to be
posters we
done
want
to
to put up. Our bedroom and our living room are the two most empty-walled rooms. Our office was...
Office is sick.
The office was the one we focused on first and foremost because that's where we both film, and that's obviously our job. So, like, that's the one that had to get done ASAP.
Yeah.
So both of our sides are done. Pretty much everything in there is up that we have and that we want to have up. And then I'd say the second most done room is the one we're in right now, the sunroom.
Yeah. It looks nice in here.
I want a comfy chair or something, but other than that, yeah, this room's pretty much done. And then, yeah, we're working on the other rooms. I like our
the
bedroom.
Blu-ray shelf's up. That's the most important thing.
We have this like perfect, precise little nook in our living room that like the example of this apartment that we toured, which is like this model but just like flipped around. It was like flipped the other way. Did not have that little nook.
Yep.
And when we moved in, like we walked into the living room, me and Chris, and I was like, the hell are we supposed to do with this tiny ass nook?
Mm-hmm.
What is this? Can't really fit it. What's going on?
Yep.
And then we're moving everything in, and I was like, wait, does your
The
Blu-ray,
Blu-ray
shelf?
shelf fits there perfectly.
The Blu-ray shelf fits in there nice and
Like
snug.
a glove.
Like a glove. Very perfect. So moving into July. July was, I think, our
Let me
busiest.
look at my phone too.
July was our busiest and most insane month of the year. I'm talking. So okay, I use this app software called Adobe Lightroom for like all my photos that I like to edit. These are the amount of photos that are in each month of the year so far.
Okay.
January, 86 photos. February, 376. Because we went to MegaCon and we went to ATL Comic Con, so there was lots of stuff for me to take pictures of. March, 94 pictures. April, 155. May, 94. June, 151. July, 527 pictures.
Oh my God.
So
That's insane.
July started out with us moving everything in. I got to cat sit for his brother.
Probably 900. All of those pictures are probably just cats then.
Not all of it, because I don't put every photo from my camera roll into Lightroom. But they love their kitty. I miss their kitty every day.
Oh.
You got your Fall Guy box. That was a fun time.
Neat. Yeah. 4th of July.
We spent a lot of time basically setting up our rooms and whatnot. I downloaded Hogwarts Legacy on Chris's PS5, which is set up to the big TV in our living room, and you've been having to pull me off the couch to get me to do shit.
Correct. This is
I
correct.
could play Hogwarts Legacy every day for the rest of my life and have a grand old time. So,
I got a video game too.
do you want to talk about it?
Not really.
Chris got the new college
EA
football
CFB
game
25.
day.
And like honestly, I'm gonna be the first one to cuss since we come back. Fuck that game.
I haven't cussed yet?
No.
Wow.
I like it, but I hate it. I genuinely and I never get more frustrated than when I play that video game. It brings out a rage that I haven't experienced since I was 13 years old playing NCAA 14. It is infuriating to no end. And as much as I love college football, it's like I kind of have to step off sometimes because it will impact my
Every
mood for the
day.
rest of the day, and I will want to smash something. Smash it, not just destroy it, smash it into oblivion.
Every day he plays that game, and every day he says, I'm never playing that game again. And then the next day he plays it.
This is correct.
And he goes, I'm never playing this stupid game
I
again.
know, yeah.
It's a constant cycle, and I
Yeah.
think it's very funny.
It's
Then
infuriating.
we went to LA. We'll recap the week of LA. Flew in on a Monday. Had a chill Monday.
We did.
Tuesday, we did the Warner Brothers Hollywood studio tour lot, whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah.
Studio tour.
Yes.
Phenomenal. Great time. If you're ever in LA and you need something to do and you like movies, I think that was definitely worth the money. I had a great time.
Yeah, it was very fun, and I know that Warner Bros. Makes some like bad movies, but they still have a lot of cool things historically that are neat.
There was DC, there was Harry Potter, there was a lot of stuff for TV, which I'm a big TV girly, as we've discussed plenty
Yes.
of times on this podcast. Obviously, I'm a big Harry Potter girly, so that was super fun. But like, they had stuff from Big Bang Theory, one of my favorite shows ever. They had stuff from Friends, which is one of my favorite shows ever. They had stuff from Gilmore Girls, which is a great show.
Yeah.
Like, they had a whole bunch of stuff. So I had a grand old time.
Like the actual sets, you get on a tram and drive around the actual sets from the movie. They show you scenes while you see it, so you can pair it up with it. It's not just like props. Like, you actually get to see the sets that were constructed for it.
Yeah, we got to see sets that like Young Sheldon used, Spider-Man used.
Yeah, which is neat because they didn't just have Warner Bros. Stuff filmed there. They lease it out for other studios as well. So the iconic MJ Spidey Kiss in the Rain was filmed at Warner Bros.
Brothers.
Studio.
And Annie from Forever Ago was filmed there, which means nothing to you, but I like Annie.
I'm aware, I just don't care.
And like just a whole bunch of really cool stuff. And you do get to see props. You get to sit on like the actual couch from Friends. You get to sit on the actual couch from Big Bang Theory, like not a duplicate, not a replica, like the literal couch that like Monica and Chandler and Rachel sat on, and that like Sheldon sat on. So that was really cool.
Yeah, that was neat. And then you got some Game of Thrones stuff in there.
Right.
The DC stuff was laughable because it's all DCEU stuff. They need to update that because that's no more.
But
That's no more.
they did have stuff from the Batman, which was really sick.
They did have stuff from the Batman and the Dark Knight trilogy. So
which saved it.
Yeah, that saved it. And then they've, Harry Potter galore.
Harry Potter
Which is
galore,
like-
which is what I was hyped as fuck
Which
for.
is cool, but like to me, I've seen so much Harry Potter stuff at other places already.
Yeah. I never get sick of it though. So.
Fair.
So that's what we did in the morning of Tuesday. In the afternoon of Tuesday, we got to hang out with some friends that live in California, Andrew and Alex, who you guys might know them as the Escape Pod
That is
podcast.
correct.
So shout out to them. You may or may not see us on an episode in some point in time.
Potentially.
I love them, but I have zero idea when our episode with them is gonna come out, because I know with Deadpool happening, like they're gonna probably release an episode today, I would assume. I don't know, it's Monday
Who's
that we're
to
filming
say?
this. Talking about the movie. So whenever that episode comes out, we'll let you guys know. But
Yeah.
there will be something at some point in time. Who's to say when that is? Then
Why were we out there? Cobra Kai never dies, baby. I've been dying to talk about it. I don't want to just run down this list. Cobra Kai season 6 dropped. We haven't freaking talked about it. It's Wednesday. I want to talk about it. I'm wearing my Eagle Fang shirt. I'm
I know,
impatient.
but
What did you want to do? I didn't want to go down the bullet list anymore. I'm fired up. I want to discuss this.
well, before we went
But we can keep going in chronological order. Go ahead.
Before we went to the Cobra Kai premiere, we went to the Griffith Observatory, which is something I really wanted to do. A, because I love space, and B, because I love La La Land, and it was way better than I thought it would be. I didn't know what was inside the Griffith Observatory besides like the pendulum, and it was all really, really cool, and I had a really fun time, and it was the best part of the trip. Now we can talk about Cobra Kai.
I liked the Griffith Observatory too. It was cool to see where they filmed La La Land.
Yeah.
And technically Rebel Without a Cause, though I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
It was hot as fire up there too. Oh my gosh. Like,
Yeah, it was hot.
wasn't humid hot. Like, it's really not like with humidity. It feels like you're getting hugged by someone in a wet blanket. But with that heat, it's just like you get sweaty because it's like your skin is burning. And at that high up, it's like you're just closer to the sun.
Yeah.
So it was pretty warm. But that evening, the reason we went out to LA is because I was invited to the Cobra Kai season 6 premiere.
Cobra Kai, Cobra Kai.
And it was
Cobra
quite
Kai.
fun. Quite fun. We went and
Great
picked out an outfit. I'd never done that before.
Yes, I took Chris shopping the Sunday before we left and bought him a really nice adult outfit.
Yep.
It was so much fun, and he looked so nice.
I felt good in it. That's never really happened, so that was cool.
He looked so cutie pie.
It was really neat though because
It was outdoors.
It was outdoors. The Autry Museum, I believe, is what it was called.
They had a whole bunch of photo ops. That was super cool. We got to walk a red carpet for my first time ever walking a red carpet.
Yeah, it was very cool.
Your first time on Getty Images.
My first time walking a red carpet as well, so that was really neat. It was a really cool event, though. They had, like, food trucks, free drinks, and everything, so that was nice. The vibes were fun.
I got french fries and soft serve ice cream.
I don't even remember that, honestly, because I didn't get any food. That was during the screening, right?
I ordered it during the
screening. You could, like, order stuff to your seat.
Yeah, there were people there, like, willing to cater to you. We walked our carpet. You got your first Getty Images photo.
Yeah.
I'm also technically on Getty Images, but number one, it's not under my name. It's just under your name. And number two, they took the photo before I was ready, and I'm in the midst of hitting my pose, and I'm in the midst of smiling, so I don't like the photo.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. My first time, so I was unaware of how fast it was going to go.
Yeah.
Wasn't ready, so it's whatever. But yours, phenomenal picture.
Thank you. I like the picture the way it turned out quite a bit.
And then we got to watch a whole bunch of people walk their carpet. There were some other non-Cobra Kai celebrities there. The guy that plays Ryan from The Boys was there.
Yeah, randomly.
That was funny.
I don't know why.
I was hoping and praying that Walker Scobell was going to be there because Walker and Arian are huge Cobra Kai fans, and they weren't, and I was gutted. Gutted by that information. But we met Mary Mauser, who plays Sam LaRusso.
I didn't really meet her, but you guys did, and that was cool.
I
got a picture with her. That was sick. I walked to go throw away some cups for some of us.
I don't know why.
And I come back.
I had no idea you walked away.
No, I did. And then I come back and like everyone's talking to Mary Mauser. I was like, oh shoot. And then like everyone like talking to her, get a picture, and I'm just like, oh yeah, I'll take a picture real quick. I'll actually meet her one day at a con and have this conversation with her. But I'm just glad I got to get a picture with her.
I talked to Mary Mauser.
The stick.
I'm the one that initiated the conversation with Mary Mauser. I talked to pretty much all the girls that are in Cobra Kai because it's really easy to talk to a girl when you are a girl. I said to Mary Mauser that I love Sam LaRusso. She's one of my favorites in the show. And I told her that I like her love for Disney. I was like, I love when you post stuff like on Instagram about Disney World and like Disneyland. And she was like, yeah, I flew in a day early. Don't tell anybody, but I was at Disneyland yesterday. And we talked about how the day of the Cobra Kai premiere, I was like, isn't it the like Disneyland's birthday today? And she was like, wait, is it? I was like, I'm pretty sure it's the 69th birthday of Disneyland. And she was like, shut up. I'm gonna have to post about it now. And then I told her I liked her outfit. I also told the girl that plays Moon that I liked her dress a lot. She was in this really pretty purple dress, and I told her that she looked great, and that purple was a great color on her. We talked for a little bit in line for drinks, and then I talked to Peyton List in passing, and I told her that she looked gorgeous. She was like, oh my gosh, thanks, you do too. And I was like, stop it, Peyton. But yeah. Oh, and I talked to the girl that plays Amanda.
Yeah.
AKA
Courtney Hengler.
The girl who is also Sheldon Cooper's sister in Big Bang Theory. And I talked to her about that.
Very fun. A lot of people from the show walking around, which was neat for sure. It was fun. We got to watch the episodes again. I had already seen them early from the press because I was able to review the season early. But it was cool to see them on the big drive-in-esque movie screen with a blaring sound system. And we were given pillow from our chair. It was like a lawn chair. So now I have a Cobra Kai Season 6 pillow. But all around, it was a fun night. I think we pretty much highlighted everything. I have a little vlog short that I did for it, which was fun. But the season itself, I like quite a bit.
I agree.
I think it's wild that so many people don't like Cobra Kai past the first or second season. This show just evolves with what it is. Like, it never loses its identity as something that clearly loves the original trilogy and pays homage to it, but people are like, it's too ridiculous now. I'm like, this show has always been ridiculous, but it's known that. It's not like...
It's 80s cheese.
Yeah, it's not... I don't understand that. I just don't, because it knows what it is. It's like if you... Like, certain projects from different genres... You kind of go in with a different set of expectations and understanding of what it is. We'll talk more about that later. If you can see what I'm pointing at, you're watching the video version, you know what I'm referring to. But yeah. You look irked by the sound, maybe?
No, I was just checking on it.
Oh, okay.
I was just looking at it.
Cool. I just saw you glancing. And
We're co-hosts of this podcast, but I'm a producer, so I'm constantly checking everything all the time. I'm the producer. I am. I'm checking the mics, making sure they're on. I'm checking that, making sure that's on. I'm checking that, making sure that's on.
Fair enough. But yeah, Cobra Kai never dies, and I'm excited for part 2. And I guess a lot of people aren't out there, which upsets me, but I don't really give a shit.
What I've
I don't
been
care.
seeing, this is the first time that I've been in the Cobra Kai fandom, like, as a season's been coming out. And it's really interesting seeing a lot of people's takes on certain things. And one thing I've seen, I think, and no disrespect to the general public, because I don't mean to offend them, but I do think that some of them aren't the brightest. And I think they're very confused at the fact that these 5 episodes are not a whole season. I can understand the confusion because we've been getting seasons from other shows that are only 6 episodes. So I can see the confusion if you're not like very online and you're very unaware that this is just a part 1 to a 15 episode season. I can understand that confusion. But I think a lot of people are unaware that these 5 episodes are not one complete season. They're not one complete story. They're like, nothing happened. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Oh, the arc is bad. Oh, blah, blah. There was no conflict. Oh, blah, blah. Yeah, it's because we're 5 episodes into the season.
I'm not forgiving of people who can't look up something online. It also says part 2 coming November. If someone doesn't, if they watch it and don't understand it,
that's why I'm saying they're not the brightest.
And I'm actually not. I don't care. You're an idiot if you watch this and we're like, oh wait, that's the end of Cobra Kai? What? It's like, are you a moron?
Well, I think they know that more parts are coming out, but like there's a disconnect. Like there's literally like a wire disconnected in their brain. They're not connecting that. They know there's still a part 2 and a part 3 coming out probably, but they're not connecting that they're a part of one continuous ongoing season 6.
Yeah, then that's their fault as well.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said they're not the brightest, but they're just literally they're missing that. It's like a missing puzzle piece. And also, secondly,
that alarms me.
Like I said, this is the first time I've been a part of the fandom like while a season's coming out. I am aware that people don't like Sam LaRusso. Like you've told me, our other like friends that we know that watch Cobra Kai have told me that people hate Sam LaRusso. I was so unaware of how bad it was.
Yeah.
Like genuinely so unaware. Crazy. Because I watched Cobra Kai without any bias of the fandom. Like I had no idea what anybody really thought of the show besides Chris. When I watched it, I like Sam, and I'm not the biggest fan of Tori. I like Tori a lot this season, but like, I don't know where that's gonna go.
Yeah, I don't know either. People hate her, honestly. They hate her guts, and it's sad. It's sad. I don't know why. I actually don't understand the Sam hate at all, and I've said that many times.
I've seen people calling her La Pusso, which is what we call Anthony.
Yeah, that's what Anthony.
And I'm like, damn, you guys, relax.
I don't get it, but if you don't understand that it's part 1 of 3, then that's on you. And
Yeah.
I'm actually sick of having to even say it. Like same thing for Spider-Verse Across and Beyond. Like if you can't do a quick search and look that up, that's on you. If you didn't realize that. The only time I felt bamboozled recently is The Bear, where it was like...
I agree.
It actually was 10 episodes of season 3, and they hit us with a to be continued. What?
I know.
It felt incomplete. That's valid.
That was fine.
But a lot of these other part 1 and 2s, like, there's someone... I've heard through the grapevine, this is not like a content creator person. It's someone who was like, oh, Stranger Things season 4 thought it was the final season. Like, a lot of people, when it came out, were like, that's how it ends?
If it ends like that, can you not put together that it's not the final season?
It's just further proof of the crisis in our country and the world right now.
Well, I mean,
when it comes
people
to
aren't
media
educated.
consumption, Cam.
People
It's bad.
Like school education is genuinely dwindling, and
Yeah.
media literacy stems from literacy, which is what you learn when you take language arts classes. And like that's not something that people are getting. If I went to a middle school right now and I took a survey and I said, raise your hand if you've ever been to a library, I think less than half the class would raise their hands, and that includes the library that's in the school.
I don't know. I'm getting old, and I had that realization the other day. Like, what is Skibbity Toilet? They're making like a movie. Like, I legitimately...
It's a movie I don't give a flying
fuck. It
fuck
sounds
to
like
see.
something from like 6th grade. Like, it sounds like something that
it's
from when we were in 6th grade.
Like, it's the kind
I
of
don't know.
humor that...
It's cringe to even discuss.
Not to segue here. It's the kind of humor that annoying film people like to say things like Deadpool are, where they're like, oh, it's just potty humor. There's no, there's no brain cells behind it. No. That is like Twitch user humor. Skibbity
It's just-
toilet
it's
riz.
Reddit incel humor. I don't know
Yeah.
what it. I don't know. I don't even care.
No, that's a really
It's
great way
just-
of describing
yeah.
it.
It's
That's
just
like the
really-
bottom barrel level of humor. Like that's the kind of humor that like my old neighbor probably finds funny. You know what I mean?
fourth grade boy humor.
Yeah.
Like Fortnite.
Yeah.
Chat humor.
Yes.
It's just I don't know. I never will get that. We'll get it, and I'm just older now, so
It's okay. The generation that our generation raises will be fine, and that's all that
Yeah.
matters.
Maybe, I don't know. I doubt that,
We see
actually.
what the generation below us is like. It skips every generation.
okay. I don't know. I think the future's pretty bleak, but I don't want to get into that right now.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot to unpack.
Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yes.
It's a movie, and it came out, and it's crushing it at the box office. It was my most anticipated movie of the year.
Mm-hmm.
We saw it Monday the 22nd, the week it came out.
Yes.
So we did not have any preconceived notions going into the film.
We
We
got
didn't
to go
have
into it-
any Rotten Tomatoes score or any bias or influence. We went and saw it early,
spoilers.
made our own opinion, and that's great.
Yeah.
And I loved it.
I love it too.
I loved it. I have done tons of content on my channel, but if you haven't watched that yet, I do love the movie. Cam hasn't shared her thoughts publicly.
I guess I haven't. My
The pressure's on.
official Letterboxd review, the first time I watched it, is a 4 out of 5 stars. And let me read you what my Letterboxd review says.
I had to block somebody on Letterboxd the other day.
Why would they comment?
I like put up like a sentence out when I watched the movie Twister because I'm gonna see Twisters at some point,
Yeah.
and they were like, "I wish, if only we actually knew what you thought of the movie," because I just put like I didn't put anything about the movie, and I was like, I don't like the fact that I have to block people on Letterboxd that are annoying because I don't.
Your
use
Letterboxd gets like a lot
makes
of
me not want to use
traction.
Letterboxd. It's like just fuck yourself.
I would make
leave me alone.
Make a new
Please
one.
leave me alone.
Anyways, my Letterboxd review, it's 4 out of 5 stars, and I gave it a heart. My review is lost 1 star because there wasn't enough Greatest Showman references and Hugh Jackman didn't sing once.
There you go.
That's my review of the movie.
There you go.
Obviously, I'm not very serious on my Letterboxd.
Well, you didn't do an analysis of the film, so I can't take it seriously.
I really, really liked it. It's definitely one of the better Marvel movies in a while, I feel like. I think Ryan Reynolds is very funny. I find all the Deadpool movies very funny. I am obsessed with like the very first scene with him dancing to can I say spoilers, obviously? Should we not do spoilers? Should we save like even naming the song that he dances to? Should I not say that?
I mean, you can do that. It's all over social media.
Okay.
It's not,
Like
but
him-
like we're not gonna like spoil any of the huge reveals in the movie.
Right,
You haven't
okay,
seen
so
it.
we won't talk about any specific cameos.
No.
Okay, we'll save that for your spoiler review.
Yes.
Right. So like the opening scene of Deadpool dancing to Bye 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 while also like killing was iconic and I love and I haven't stopped thinking about. And I think all the fight scenes are really great. I was laughing a lot. I am going to say one line from the beginning of the movie that was probably got a holler out of me in the
Please
theater.
say it.
Deadpool was like, there's 206 bones in the human body. 207 if I'm watching Gossip Girl. Gagged. I was laughing. Every joke that like
Yeah.
was super meta and pertained to like their real life. Like a second joke I'm going to say is Deadpool introducing Wolverine to somebody and he's like, this is Wolverine. He's normally shirtless, but he's let himself go since the divorce. Gagged. Because that's a Hugh Jackman joke.
Yeah.
So funny. Very, very funny movie to me. Loved the fight scenes. I thought the plot made sense and was
I did
easy
too.
to follow
I did too.
and was borderline like bare bones and like
I agree.
no pun
Apparently-
intended
Yeah.
and like was like yep this makes sense, this got it yep, this Wolverine makes sense, his motives make sense, yep, Deadpool doing this makes sense. A lot of people, and this again, I don't mean to sound rude, no offense to anybody who felt like this, but I've seen a lot of people being like, oh, you know, second rewatch of Deadpool and Wolverine, I understand the plot a lot more.
Yeah. And
I
I'm
get it a lot more. I've seen people be like, I don't.
This
like,
isn't
I don't
like
get it.
Interstellar. This is not a Nolan film.
Being
this
like,
is
yeah, I don't get it. It's a confusing plot. It's a messy plot. It's really not messy.
I agree. I don't think it's messy. I think that word's been thrown around a lot.
Like, what's messy about it?
I've heard people actually back up why they think it's messy, but I also think the word's been thrown around a lot as like, oh, I'm just going to use this word to make it sound like I have a reason that I don't like it. But they just don't know how to express why it's messy.
What are some reasons that people have given for it being messy?
Even then, I think it's a stretch personally. But I actually don't understand where they're coming from. And I guess they're saying it gets messy with like it gets confusing messy with the timelines, or they're saying it's messy as in choppy, as in like we go from structurally, right? You open with, Deadpool in this opening credits, and he's like, let me take you back, boom, and we do a little flashback. That's every Deadpool movie.
Yeah.
Though. Every Deadpool movie opens, and then he's like, let me take you back
That's
to
also like
the dewy slopes of,
common movie trope. It's done plenty of times.
Correct. And so I don't know why people are deeming it messy.
The only thing that I could give people that if they want to say it's messy, the only reason that I could maybe tolerate listening to is like the two villains.
Yeah.
Sure, I'll give that to you. When a movie has more than one villain, it can feel, here and there, and it can feel a tiny bit messy. I still didn't feel like that.
Like, yeah, the motives can stack on top of each other. Can be like, what is the purpose? Like, why are these two villains then clashing? That can maybe feel like there's a bit too much going on. I can see that in a sense, but I disagree still.
And remind me about this, because when we do your spoiler review, there is a point I want to make about the two villains, and I want to compare it to something else in the MCU. So just remind me of that so I don't forget it. But yeah, I think I'll say this, and I said this to you. I think if you really liked Loki season 1 and season 2, but specifically season 2 of Loki, you'll probably enjoy and understand and have a great time with Deadpool and Wolverine. But if you didn't like Loki season 2, or if you didn't understand Loki season 2, you're probably not going to enjoy Deadpool and Wolverine as much as the first group I just mentioned.
Yeah.
I think we fall into the first group of people. We really liked Loki season 2. We understand Loki season 2. And when I say understand, here's the thing. I'm fully aware that multiple universes is something that is a very confusing concept. If you think too fucking hard about it, don't think so hard about it. And I'm not saying like turn your brain off when you watch Loki or turn your brain off when you watch Deadpool and Wolverine. That's not what I'm saying. But if you're sitting there really trying to crunch out the numbers of these different universes and really trying to find every single plot hole and like black hole and all these plot points, you're going to give yourself a headache. And that's just not what it's meant for.
I think that when it comes to like multiple universes in media, I learned at a young age when I watched a movie called Back to the Future that it's best to never try and make time travel, multiverse, plot lines, any of that actually make sense or justify it existing in our world.
Yeah.
I think that's a rule I learned at a very young age, and I'm very glad of that, because if I was someone who watched a movie with time travel and multiversal elements and was like, I just don't understand how this could happen in our world, it's fiction. That's the whole point. It's not supposed to ever happen in our world. And so even then, you want to try and critique the rules of it existing. Like, even a movie like Back to the Future, like I said, you could go to any time travel movie, even something like Inception with dreams. It's so complex, it's almost impossible to ever truly understand. But you can get the rules they establish and write. And it varies from project to project. In this movie, Deadpool and Wolverine, they lay it out very clearly. We'll talk a lot about that in the spoiler review, which is coming on my channel soon. But it's very laid out, in my opinion. And so if you just follow this movie, you just go to Deadpool and Wolverine, you haven't even seen Loki, I think you still get it.
Yeah. You might be like, oh, what the fuck is the TVA?
That's the only thing, but then at that, at a certain point, it might be on you. They kind of explain that, though, even, Cam.
Where it's like if we
monitor timelines.
If you're watching something that's a part of something like the MCU, where it's pretty much contingent upon a separate project, like, and you don't watch said project, and you walk into the movie and you're like, I don't know what this is. This movie sucks because I don't get this.
You're just an asshole.
That's not the movie that's you.
Now.
That'd be like me going, my very first Marvel movie in theaters, at least that I remember, was Homecoming, 2016. That'd be like me walking into that theater, leaving and being like, who the fuck was that guy in a suit?
Yeah. Well, like,
to be fair, I'm talking about Iron Man. I know there's two suits, but I'd be like, who is this guy trying to tell Peter what he can and can't do? Who the fuck does he think he is? But I didn't do that.
Yeah. I mean, at a certain point in time, society, when it comes to consuming the MCU, it's evolved. It's evolved with TV shows, whether you like them or not. I think it's a problem with the MCU Disney Plus shows, a lot of them. But, like, you have to be, as an audience member, we have been tasked with homework a bit. And I know that's not what people want to hear. But at a certain point, you got to have, if you really want to have an ongoing franchise for this long, since 2008, it's going to get complicated. There's a lot of things you're going to have to watch. It's setting a precedent that's never been matched. No other franchise has gone on this long and had so many different stories and characters. And so if you haven't watched, 6 episodes of Loki or, watched 2 other movies, like, I can understand how people can say, oh, I shouldn't have to do that. But I personally do not feel bad for you at all. I don't.
Yeah.
I
You're in a
don't.
cinematic universe. If it's something like Eternals where it's like a first time thing for these characters and a first time thing for this like area of the franchise, that's fine. Obviously, you don't really need to watch anything else. If you're going to watch Eternals, like, you should be fine. But first of all, something that's the 3rd installment in a movie franchise, you should watch the first 2 movies.
Yes.
When it comes to watching the TV shows before the movies, you don't really have to do that, quite honestly. Like, you don't have to. It's beneficial, and there's probably, going to be things that you're not going to get as well if you don't watch the shows. Multiverse of Madness. If you don't watch WandaVision, you're going to be like, okay, Wanda has kids, ? You'll be a little lost on that, but if you have any sort of common sense, you can be like, okay, I guess Wanda had kids, and she lost them. The movie explains that for you.
Yeah.
Like The Marvels explains who Kamala is and explains who her family is and explains her powers pretty well pretty soon. You don't need to watch Miss Marvel, but you should, so you can really understand the character. Hang on, I got 2 more and then you can go. Deadpool and Wolverine. Do you need to watch Loki? Probably not.
You don't need to watch Loki.
Mobius isn't in it, Loki's not in it, but the TVA is in it and B-15's in it. And so it's like, you don't need to watch Loki, but it's beneficial and it'll help you understand it. And I'm going to apply this to the future. Captain America Brave New World. You don't need to watch The Falcon and the Winter Soldier to understand that movie, but you're going to watch it and be like, who the fuck is Isaiah? Who is, what's the other guy's name?
The Falcon? The new Falcon?
No. Yeah, that's a good one. You're going to be like, who's this guy? When did he become Falcon? Isaiah Bradley and his son, who I'm blanking on. I don't even know if he's in the movie. But like, you're going to be like, who's Isaiah? Why is he shooting at Harrison Ford? Maybe
not.
You're going to be like, who's this guy? Why is he important?
I don't think you have to watch Loki at all to understand Deadpool and Wolverine. I think you need to watch Deadpool and Deadpool 2. And that's it. Not even any of the X-Men movies. I'm so serious because the movie very simply lays out what's going on from the beginning. The post-credit scene of Deadpool 2 ended up having so much more significance than I ever thought it would have. And it's almost eerie how they made it line up with the writing. And it's crazy, too, because if they didn't, like, say, you go back in time, 2018, Deadpool 2 doesn't have that post-credit scene. I don't know how they swing it to make it make sense for Deadpool to be brought in.
Eli Bradley.
Like, Eli? Okay, cool. It'd be real hard, though, to sell it. Like, that post-credit scene, it was almost like
Is that him with his little
divine
time
intervention.
turner thing?
Yeah, like, how the hell do you... Like, it's crazy how it ended up lining up. Now, I know they wrote it really cleverly around it, that post-credit scene, but damn. Like, it's almost like a butterfly effect. Like, if that post-credit scene didn't exist, this whole movie might have been different.
Yeah.
Crazy to think about.
Yeah. They got lucky.
Yeah, very lucky. But no, I think the first 2 Deadpool movies are important to watch. Anything else, like, I'm sure a lot of people watch this movie without any knowledge of Deadpool. Yeah. That's just how it is. People are weird. They just go and, like, see, like, there are people who saw Endgame probably without having seen any other Marvel movie. How is anyone supposed to feel bad for them if they walk out and they're like, I'm confused? I don't give a shit. Watch at least Infinity War before.
My sister,
even then, what is wrong with you?
My sister almost watched Guardians of the Galaxy 3 without seeing any Marvel movie prior to it because her boyfriend wanted to watch Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
That's
and
insane,
They called me and I was like, you need to watch like the other Marvel movies, honestly. And he's like, no, she doesn't.
Guardians 1 and 2 at least.
I know, but then she's going to be like, what happened to Gamora?
Bare bones 1 and 2, but I agree.
At the very least, yeah, I was like, at least make her watch the other Guardians movies so she can understand what characters these are. But she's not going to know what the fuck happened to Gamora or Nebula.
Yeah.
Like, she's going to be like, what's going on?
Yeah.
So she watched all of them and they never even got to Guardians 3. They stopped at Endgame.
That drives me crazy.
I know,
honestly.
they're so funny. But yeah, overall, I think Deadpool and Wolverine was great and it was fun. I'm shocked it's as divisive as it is.
I love it. Without, unashamedly, I love the movie.
Yeah, I think it's like top 15 Marvel movies.
It's top 10 for me.
Granted, I feel like top 15 is like top half.
Yeah, it's number 8 in my MCU ranking right now.
I don't know where it is in mine.
I love the movie from beginning to end, and I don't know what else. What were people's expectations who went into this movie? Like, because
I can't tell you.
Because it gave us a great third Deadpool movie.
Yeah.
We're looking at Deadpool's character arc here, right? He finally is at a point where he wants to be greater than himself and like really matter, be a hero. And then you've got this version of Wolverine that I won't say too much about, but he is a disappointment in his world. And so you pair these two characters together. They go on this great journey, and they butt heads a lot. But by the end, I mean, it's some great magic happens on film, and it's action packed. It's badass. It's hilarious. I mean, if we're looking at Deadpool movies, I think it's the best of the three.
I agree. And I think it has really great cameos that don't take away from the plot or take
Not at
away
all.
from the main characters in the slightest, which is, I think, really cool and impressive to do.
I've seen so much hatred for this movie from corners of the internet that reek of pretentiousness. The types that, again, I took some film courses. I'm not saying everyone who studies film is pretentious, but unfortunately a lot of folks are. And they're like saying, one person quote tweeted a good review of the movie, and they were like, "Yay, feed us more slop. We're all little piggies." Basically saying like we're all brainless robots who just want to feed off of this corporate
Which is so
greed.
crazy.
Like, where are these people coming from? They're in a bad spot, right?
Yeah.
And the people who were like, "This is the most disgusting fan service in your face bullshit movie I've ever seen." Like, mainstream movies, I fear for their future. Like, people reacting like that have deep-seated issues beyond, like something is wrong with them, in my opinion. Again, you're allowed to not like this movie, but if you just come at it from that angle of like, this is just disgusting, like that, I think is almost an incorrect take.
I'm trying to figure out when fan service became such a negative thing.
I don't know.
I feel like I think of fan service in the franchises that like start out as books and are adapted to screen, whether that's a movie or TV show.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you could watch The Hunger Games and be like, "Oh, this is all fan service," because it's paying homage to like the fans of the books, and it's doing things that the fans of the books are gonna like.
I think it started with The Force Awakens in recent years.
But like, why is it such a bad thing to do something for your fandom? Like, the people that are these people are fans of what you make, and you make something catered to them. Why did that become a bad thing all of a sudden?
I think it's the manner in which they do it, and this movie handles it perfectly.
Sometimes it can be bad when that's all they focus on, but I think that that's a rare case. Like, I don't think there's a lot of things that are fan service that only focus on fan service and forget about things like plot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I'm talking about like in a movie like Rogue One, when they insert like a 2-second shot of R2 and 3PO, like that's blatant fan service. But having a yeah, like this movie, yeah, filled with fan service, because in a way it is like
Good,
the
service
send off
me.
to the Fox era of Marvel. And
I
so
want you
they're-
to service me.
Yeah, I agree. You know, like I don't get the overwhelming hate for this movie. I think a lot of people are coming at it from a place of not actually hating Deadpool and Wolverine, but hating the MCU as a whole, and they probably have biases against it. So
I'm sure. Lots of people
I'm
do.
guaranteeing it. I've seen so many of the pundits on Twitter. I just mute them or block them. Like I don't want to see that crap on my timeline.
Yeah.
Because it's a problem, because they're people who make it seem like you can't love a Best Picture winner and The Avengers from 2012. You can't love both of those movies and critique them and praise them for what they do right and wrong in the same light. And it just opens the door to the greater conversation.
Like, not every movie is the same movie.
Yeah, and like
Not
it's
every
just-
movie serves the same purpose.
The thing that frustrates me the most, and then we can move on, is that those haters of Deadpool and Wolverine were acting like there's no emotion in the film. There's a lot of heart in this movie. Jackman delivers one hell of a performance.
Yeah.
The campfire scene.
Yeah.
The scene when he's going off on Deadpool in the van. Like, I could go on, and there is payoff. And the two main characters have arcs in this film that are rewarding and satisfying to witness. I don't understand at all where that comes from, and it just frustrates me. It always will frustrate me how so many people will be like, I love movies, and talk about them. And then it comes to a new Marvel movie, and they like have to like baby it or water it down and be like, oh, well, this isn't really a movie. It's like, what?
Yeah.
it's still a movie.
Yeah.
It's a film, damn near.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to call it. And people just treat Marvel like so different. I'm like, it's one of my favorite. It's my favorite movie of the year right now, and I love challengers.
Yeah.
Those two things can exist.
They can.
It's like the year of No Way Home. I was like, yeah, No Way Home's up there, and then I loved like a ton of other movies too.
Yeah.
And it's just annoying that specifically on Twitter, the two just have to clash.
Yeah.
It's like the Breaking Bad, Stranger Things thing. Love both shows.
Yeah.
They don't have to clash.
Yeah.
You have the floor now.
No, I agree with everything you said. I think a lot of people that are the side of film bro and pretentious film Twitter, they get almost like, you know, sometimes I get really angry for like over, like for no reason. I get angry when something's like overstimulating me, or I get angry when like there's something happening that I'm not understanding. You know what I mean? I think they experience that same type of anger when like a Marvel movie comes out and they see people enjoying it and they can't comprehend or wrap their heads around how people can actually enjoy these things. So they take it out on them and they try to make it seem like, oh, you're actually so stupid for liking this. Oh, you like this? Oh, you're a stupid little idiot. You don't understand how stupid you are for liking this? It's okay. Don't worry. I'll explain it to you.
That's exactly how it comes off. And it's like, who are you?
But I think it comes from a place of, whether they're aware of it or not.
It comes from a place of needing to go to therapy.
It comes from a place of insecurity. Yeah, it comes from a place of insecurity of like they can't enjoy these movies for some reason within themselves. They can't enjoy them, so they have to attack the people that do enjoy them.
Yeah.
And that can even, there's even people within the Marvel fandom that are like that. There are a lot of people that are so pro Marvel was only good before Endgame. Everything Marvel's done after Endgame is so trash and god awful that if you enjoy anything that Marvel's done post Endgame, you're a stupid fucking idiot. There's so many people that are like that. Yeah. And the minute you say you enjoy something that Marvel's done post Endgame, they will tell you how fucking stupid they think you are, and they will explain to you why you're stupid and why you're wrong. And it pisses me off.
Yeah, it's pretty insane out there online. That's why I just kind of step away from it often.
I'm one of the few people that doesn't have nostalgia goggles for Marvel, because I didn't watch Marvel until 2017. Like I didn't grow up on it. I only watched it because of him, and then I liked it. Right. So now I watch it as they come out. So I didn't get to go to the movies to watch Iron Man 3 when I was 8. When did Iron Man 3 come out?
I was 13.
When I was 13. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't get to do that. So I don't have these nostalgia goggles for movies like the Iron Man movies, or like the first couple of Captain America movies, or what's a really early Marvel movie? The Avengers. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't have nostalgia goggles for them, but I like them, right? Because they're good. I like a lot of the things Marvel's currently doing. Not all of them. I'm not crazy, but I like plenty of it because I don't have the nostalgia feeling that comes with early Marvel projects, but a lot of people do have that. So they're like,
yeah, but I also do think that there's undeniably a dip in quality post Endgame.
100%.
For the majority of projects, not all of them.
It is definitely a different like quality, and I do think, you know, God, we could talk about this for fucking hours. I could go forever about how I do think, you know, Marvel has definitely gone into a quantity over quality type of thing, and I think they're balancing that back out again, and I think they're realizing that, and they're getting back into the more of quality over quantity. At least I can see them on that trajectory. Like they're getting there.
We'll talk about that in a second.
I mean,
we have a lot of.
We do have a lot to talk about.
We want to open Pandora's box.
But like, I've enjoyed a handful of the TV shows. Yeah. Not all of them. I haven't even watched them. Secret Invasion and Echo. Sorry, not gonna watch them. But I really liked Falcon Winter Soldier, and I liked Loki, and I liked Hawkeye. Right? Do I think that they're on the level of Daredevil from Netflix? Fuck no. Not even on the level of one season of Daredevil. Not a single one of them. But they're very different things. It's like trying to compare Oppenheimer to Ghostbusters Afterlife. You know what I mean? Well, I should have picked a different Ghostbusters movie, honestly. But you know what I mean? Like, it's like trying to compare those two things. Obviously, Oppenheimer is a 3-hour film about a man who created the atomic bomb. It's more of a very serious movie directed by Christopher Nolan. That's a very serious thing. I'm not going to compare it to some silly movie about ghosts, you know? But they're two things that I enjoy. Granted, I'm not as big on Oppenheimer as most people are.
I don't know if Marvel is headed in the right direction.
Well, okay, I think they are with some things.
with some things. But
The one thing they did we were going, whoop, and then went, So, okay, wrapping up Deadpool Wolverine. We
Yeah.
liked the movie.
I loved the movie.
If you
get out of here
didn't-
for me. This is me. I'm gonna speak for myself.
He
real quick.
loved it.
I loved it. I want everyone to know that I have it at 5 out of 5 on Letterboxd. I don't have any problems with it. I've seen it twice. I'm gonna see it a third time, and I think a lot of people out there love it as well. And if you love it, awesome. Please let us know down below. It is my favorite movie of the year. It's a top 10 MCU movie for me. It gave me everything I wanted and then some. It pulled on it hit all the emotional beats. I was cheesing in the theater, smiling ear to ear, and it has like multiple fight scenes that are burned into my brain forever. I can't wait till it's on YouTube. Those
Full
fight scenes.
spoiler review will be on his YouTube channel.
Loved it. I loved it. God, it was good.
So now we're going to go from that wraps up our Deadpool Wolverine discussion. Nice little bow on that. Like I said, we will be talking full spoilers on Chris's YouTube channel. Who knows
Probably
how
out
long?
as of now.
Who
If you're watching
knows how long that's going to be, right? Yeah, it is probably out by the time you're watching this.
it. It's out.
Now we're
watch
transitioning
it.
into this past weekend, 2 days ago, Saturday. Marvel had their Hall H panel at San Diego Comic-Con.
That is correct.
Their big boy panel con, right? And they touched on a lot of things. They started out with Captain America: Brave New World. They brought out some of the cast. Harrison Ford hulked out on stage, which was
Yeah.
probably the best part, because he loves to be there. He loves everything but Star Wars, which I think is fucking hilarious. And then they moved into Thunderbolts. Apparently people saw footage, and I'm sick to my stomach that the art of leaking footage at Comic-Cons has been lost upon the youth of America, because why have I not seen it yet? I've seen the Fantastic Four footage because they also talked about Fantastic Four. No one's leaked the Thunderbolts footage.
Not yet, no.
Does piracy mean anything to anybody anymore? We're losing the ways of America.
It's funny because we still got stuff, so I disagree. We got stuff.
What stuff?
The Fantastic Four stuff leaked.
Yeah, but I'm talking about Thunderbolts right now. What do you mean I don't know what Bucky looks like in Thunderbolts
We've
yet?
seen pictures of him.
No.
Yeah, in a suit.
Yeah, he's a congressman apparently.
Yeah, so we have seen him.
I love seeing him employed. I hope he doesn't hate his job. I hope he loves it.
David Harbour showed up in suit.
Yes.
New suit.
Kind of ugly, but it's fine.
Yeah, I don't know why Marvel like downgrades suits so
I wonder if
often
the
from a
Thunderbolts
first project to a second.
Are gonna be in like color coordinated suits of sorts, because I can't imagine
Gold,
Bucky
maybe
being
like
in
a
those
gold
colors.
type of theme, like
Maybe.
gold. I don't know. That's what it seemed. There's a little gold in that suit, right? Like the
Yeah,
plate.
it was like maroon and gold. Shout out to our
Yeah.
high school. But Bucky's colors are like, as a Falcon or Soldier, blue and gold and black, and before that his colors were silver and red. So who's to say? New arm, question mark? Who's to say? I don't think he gets a new arm. We've seen someone holding his hand, his fake little metal hand on set.
Yeah.
So we didn't get too much about Thunderbolts. We got like a little bit. We got to see them, the whole cast, hang out and
I'm
whatnot.
dying to talk about what we.
I know what. I think though, after what we got in terms of news for Thunderbolts, I think a lot of people are a little more lenient on that project than they were. I know when the lineup of Thunderbolts dropped, whenever the fuck that dropped, what was it, last Comic-Con? A lot of people were like, "Oh, this lineup is ass."
Yeah, I don't know. We have
I saw the Vision day one.
D23 is coming up very quick, and we're gonna probably get. I bet we'll get a public teaser then. And Charlie Cox said today he'll be there.
Huge.
'Cause
I
Daredevil's
forget that
coming
we're
out in,
I
like,
forget
early
that
next
they have
year.
Daredevil. I forget it.
Yeah, early next year, like March, I think.
That's crazy. Then, after Thunderbolts,
I'll talk about this part, unless you want to.
I can talk about this part.
Please do.
Well, we did Fantastic Four. You can talk, and I'll chime in.
Do you want to talk about Fantastic Four?
Yeah, that's what came next.
Oh, go. I don't go.
Oh, you want to talk
I want
about
to talk
this after?
about the reason probably for this podcast
So,
episode that we
after-
haven't discussed yet.
After Thunderbolts, they talked about Fantastic Four. They brought the cast out. They start filming this week in London, and they shared some test footage that they have. It was like 2 minutes of test footage of like the whole team. They confirmed that it's set in like a futuristic 60s, so probably not in the sacred timeline, I would assume. And we got to see Pedro Pascal being a little scientist. We got to hear Vanessa Kirby's American accent. We got to see Ebon Moss-Backrack as the Thing before he's a rock. I
Just
really,
Ben Grimm.
I don't know anything about Fantastic Four all that much. And we also saw Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm, and he looks
Yay.
great.
That's all you had to say about it?
And it looks phenomenal. I think it's very stylistic. It's very 60s. Pedro Pascal has a little bit of like a transatlantic accent in a way, which I like. And I hope that the movie keeps the tone of that 2 minutes of test footage, because I liked
agree.
it a lot.
I liked the score that we heard from Giacchino at the drone show, I want to say.
Yeah, we got a lot of news about
And we saw the Fantastic Car. It was pretty cool.
my king, my up king.
Yeah, Michael Giacchino, Ratatouille as well, Pixar king.
He's gonna be doing the music. We saw, what's his name, Galactus,
Yes.
for like 0.2 seconds. Yeah, I think it looks great, and I hope they keep those vibes.
Yep. And then let's just talk about what we came here for. I agree. Let's
So
just talk
then
about the reason for this.
Marvel announced that Avengers Secret Wars and Avengers Doomsday are the name of the next 2 Avengers movies, and they announced that they're bringing back the Russo brothers to direct those 2 movies, which is ginormous news, because the Russo brothers were like, we're done, Endgame, that was it. And they were in interviews, they're pretty adamant about putting a period on that. They're like, that is the end of us with Marvel.
Yep.
They were done.
Then Marvel came with the bag, baby. And they realized, oh, our movies aren't good outside of the MCU. This is kind of hard. And so then they go back to the MCU, and they have a bunch of Dooms on stage with these masks.
Doomsday referencing Doctor Doom.
Obviously.
And they announce.
Thank you. They have a bunch of Dooms on stage. There's one in particular who walks out of the pack. He takes his mask off, and who is it? It's Robert Downey Jr. playing Doctor Doom in the MCU. Met with a plethora of reactions online.
The in-person people were losing their damn minds.
They were going crazy.
I can tell you right now, if I was in that room and I was recording it, when he took the mask off, everyone would be screaming. You would literally probably hear me on my phone being like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
We were at a wedding when this news dropped.
Yeah.
I was like, we were confused as fuck. I thought it was a bit.
I also thought it was a fake tweet. I had to look into it, and then I found a video and was like, what's going on here? I'll just take the floor here. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. I don't like this at all. For obvious reasons, it's weird to have the face of phases 1 through 3 of the MCU return as a big bad villain. I don't like that at all. The second thing is, this is going to confuse the absolute hell out of most general audiences, I would think, no matter how they spin it, even if it's, which we'll talk about how it could make sense. It's just like someone you associate with Iron Man is now Doctor Doom. That's stupid as hell. And on the third note, we had the perfect send-off for Tony Stark, and it's just going to be really hard for a lot of people to buy in with him being a villain now. Robert Downey Jr., that is, playing a villain now in the MCU.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I wish they could take it back. I also don't think it's going to be him playing Victor Von Doom. I think he'll probably be some sort of Iron Man variant. And then that's just their big gimmick to get people to buy in. But I don't like it, and it feels really, a word I've seen thrown around a lot, desperate.
I have so many thoughts on it. They scatter like all throughout my brain. I don't like it. I think it's weird.
Yeah.
I don't understand the reasoning behind it.
I don't at all.
I am willing to hear them out. I'm always a pretty optimistic person. You know this. It's something that you either love or hate about me, you specifically, depending on what I'm being optimistic about. I am more often than not down to hear Marvel out whenever they make their choices. More, I think, than most people are. I don't know how they're going to explain it or how it's going to make sense or how it's going to be good. I'm willing to see what they've got planned. I also am not taking it seriously because Doomsday is in 2026? That's 2 years away. AKA in Marvel years, that's 4 years away.
Yeah, remember when we were going to get 2 Avengers movies in 2025?
Marvel years work like dog years. They say something's going to come out 1 year, expected to come out 2 years later. Kevin Feige was persistent on the fact that Fantastic Four is going to come out exactly a year from Saturday. And I was like, babe, I'll believe it when I see it because they haven't filmed yet. And I know how long stuff takes, CGI, whatever, all that crap. I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see, but I'll tell you that Cam,
I was supposed to have Thunderbolts by now.
We were supposed to have a lot of stuff by now.
Yeah.
I just do not think that this is. It feels like a gag. It does. It feels like it's not actually Avengers Doomsday, I don't think it's going to happen. I honestly think they're going to scrap it and just do Avengers Secret Wars.
I don't know anything. Wait, is the first Avengers movie not Secret Wars?
The first one's Doomsday.
Oh, Doomsday comes first?
I don't know why. I thought you were saying them out of order to save Doomsday.
I just don't remember.
Secret Wars is 2027.
Jesus Christ. I think it could be a lot of different things, you know? I think maybe they could be JKing us. I don't know a lot about Doctor Doom. I don't know a lot about this side of Marvel Comics, right? Pretty sure Doctor Doom, his whole shtick is that he doesn't take his mask off, right? Isn't that one of his whole things? He doesn't ever take his mask off, and that's obviously not going to happen because you're not going to put RDJ in there for shits and giggles.
Yeah.
You're going to have his mask off so you can see his face.
From what I've seen, and again, I don't know anything of this. This is not my own mind or research. I've seen that image going around. It's like a comic cover of Tony, like a Tony variant being Doom. That's probably what it's going to be. And I don't know if he's going to be the main Doom or if he's just going to be a Doom. But
there's no way he's the main Doom. But I feel like it's weird to adapt a variant of a character before you're adapting the main version of the character.
I don't know, and I honestly am just reaching the point where it's a lot of people are probably just going to be I don't know if I care anymore. My brother, for example, is a very casual Marvel fan. He liked the Infinity Saga, but he was like, what's this? What's going on with that? He wasn't a fan of it. I haven't heard. And then at the wedding, some of our friends were there. They were like, what the hell is this?
They're like, what the fuck?
So, I don't think this is landing as well as they thought.
I don't think they thought it through.
No.
I think unless maybe do you know what Doctor Doom's powers are? I have no fucking idea. Is there any way that he's going to be making people see Tony Stark on purpose and then
he's OP, meaning he's
the end of the
so
movie
powerful.
could reveal the real actor or something like that? I don't know anything about Doctor Doom, but we
this
killed
is
him
also
off.
one of those things where it's not everyone. Bo Burnham has this great bit where he's like, does everyone always have to share their opinion about everything on the internet all the time, always? And it's that's how I feel about this. It's I mean, yeah, it's big news. RDJ is, RDJ is coming back as Doctor Doom, but it's I don't really need to hear every single person on God's green earth give their opinion. That's why I wasn't jumping at the bit to make a video about it.
There's nothing at this point.
There's two ways you can go.
That hasn't been said.
Yeah, there's two ways you can go. And these are the two takes I've seen. I'm kind of averaging it together. There's one that's this is desperation. Marvel, I don't like it. What are you doing? That's kind of where I am. And the other's
Screw it. Let's go all out and embrace it, guys. Let's have all the original Avengers return and fight an evil Avengers team.
It's
I'm done.
Those are the two sides. That's it.
Yeah, I think it's just weird.
I think it's very weird.
I'm 70% the weird side, 30% the optimistic side.
Yeah.
I'm not the stupidly blind Marvel dick riding, dare I say, where I'm oh my god, anything Marvel does, I love Marvel. You're so good at everything you do. I'm not like that. I am relatively optimistic though, where I'm I think that this is weird as fuck, and I am questioning it a lot. But if they can prove me wrong, they can prove me wrong.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna shame them or anything or whatever. I don't care about it until I see it. You know what I mean? It's not going to affect me until I watch the movie, and that's 2 years away. Why do I care?
Yeah, I'll see. Obviously, someone had a tweet. They're you're all going to go see the movie. Yeah, we're all going to see the movie.
That's our job.
It's an Avengers movie. But we're allowed to have opinions on it. This is not comparable to when they have an actor breaking news. Robert Pattinson's playing Batman. This is not. Oh, he's not a good Batman. This is not that at all.
Yeah,
this is the most
face of the franchise.
The character of the MCU is coming back to play seemingly the main villain of the new Avengers film. This is unprecedented, and you can't even make a comp.
I saw a really funny tweet about it where someone was like, "I want to personally apologize to Joseph Quinn. I judged you too harshly. I thought that Marvel could not make a worse casting choice, but then they decided to bring out RDJ as Doctor Doom, and they made you look phenomenal." They made the casting for Joseph Quinn look great with casting Robert.
Yeah, I just don't know. I'm trying to think of an example in another really popular franchise, and I can't do it. I can't.
Yeah, because no one's done
Because no
this.
one's had a franchise this long running.
Yeah.
This successful where if you want to do Star Wars or Harry Potter, you could be
somehow Palpatine returned.
It would be what it would be like is if they reboot this Harry Potter, this upcoming one, and Radcliffe is playing Voldemort. That's what it would be.
Oh my god.
In the show,
5'2" Voldemort.
Daniel Radcliffe is playing Voldemort.
5'2" Voldemort is so funny.
It just doesn't make sense, right?
Yeah, it doesn't. It's like you made this point, I think, like immediately after the news came out. It's like Mark Hamill playing Kylo Ren.
It's just weird.
It's like, what are you doing?
It's weird and it doesn't make sense. And I have seen the other take online of people like, oh, well, this is just comic books. Comic books do this all the time. And it's like, those are comic books. These are comic book movies. There's a big difference between the two of them.
I've seen people joke like, oh, they're going to bring Chris Evans back as Magneto now.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people. I haven't seen a lot of positivity surrounding this.
No,
Here's one thing that's undeniable. Robert Downey Jr., phenomenal actor, one of my favorites. And he will do an outstanding job with whatever role he is given.
I just want to know, like, here's why I am only slightly optimistic about it. How, because, like, okay. Yes, money, right? I'm sure that the Russo brothers got a giant bag for doing this, or they're gonna get a giant bag for doing this.
Yeah.
And I know Robert
Everything's
Downey
about
Jr.
money at the end of the day. If you guys
I know
didn't
everything's about money, but there's no way that there's not something that we don't know about that didn't sell the Russo brothers to come back, because they were very confident in the fact that they were done after Endgame. Like they were like, you know that meme where it's like the guy breaking free of chains in the sunset? Like they were like, we're free. We're free of Marvel. We don't need to do their movies anymore. And even though their movies outside of Marvel were ass, like they still haven't come back yet. It's been a couple of years. Like, well, 4 years? When did it come out? 6 years ago?
2019.
5. It's been 5 years.
It'll be 7 by the time the next one comes out.
Yeah, so it's been a while. Why didn't they come back sooner? What is it about these two movies that have really convinced them to come back besides money that we don't know? Because they also had to do something that we don't know about to convince Robert to come back. Robert Downey Jr. just won an Oscar. He just won an Oscar.
He could do whatever he wants.
His career when he left Marvel was dwindling. I would get it if he came back after Dr. Dolittle. I would understand that.
Yeah.
Because that was bad. But he then got Oppenheimer and won a fucking Oscar for it.
Yeah.
Robert Downey Jr.'s career isn't dying anymore. Granted, he's old anyways. Like, he doesn't really need to have, like, the most thriving career of his life. But, like, he won an Oscar. He's still employed, I'm sure. I don't know what movies he has coming out soon, but I'm sure he's heavily employed. He doesn't need this. Obviously, yes, money is what convinced all three of these guys to come back for sure. But I feel like deep in my heart, there has to be something that we, the general
You're
audience,
a very optimistic
doesn't
person.
know. I can't fathom them getting back. I could see them getting back either the Russo brothers or either Robert Downey Jr., but I can't see them getting back all three of them for shits and gigs, and they're just there for the money. Like, there has to be at least like 1% of something that really piqued their interest.
They're probably going to do that stupid thing I jokingly just said, someone tweeted, where they bring back all the original Avengers, and there's versions of them fighting that's what we're going to get.
I don't want that.
There's going to be an evil Avengers team or some shit.
I don't think they're going to do that.
I don't know. I do love, like, the nerd stuff. Like, I love seeing, nerd out galore, but I do worry we could reach a point in the MCU where they fully abandon the emotional weight in the legacy of Endgame. Like, Endgame was, you're not topping it again. I'm sorry.
Yeah, for sure.
Secret Wars will not top it.
Yeah, of course.
Secret Wars might have Wolverine and Toby coming face to face, which is like, holy shit. But I don't think as a movie it will top it. And here's the real kicker. Who are the Avengers right now? We have not seen a squad of Avengers post Endgame.
I agree. I think that they've lost the plot a little by trying to focus on these big Avengers movies where everybody that's ever been in a Marvel movie now is considered an Avenger just because they've graced a Marvel movie with their presence. And I think they kind of got that idea with the portal scene in Endgame when everyone showed up to help to fight. Yeah. It doesn't make them an Avenger. Black Panther's not an Avenger. He's a superhero that the Avengers needed help, and he came to help with his whole army. Ant-Man's not even an Avenger, really.
I mean,
like, they don't have a set established group of Avengers who would, like, literally, like, live in the tower and work and, like, do, like, the press that the Avengers would do.
I kind of want to get back to that. Is that
like,
bad?
they need to do that. They shouldn't be focusing on Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars. Avengers Secret Wars shouldn't happen for another 15 years.
I said this after after Endgame in 2019, I said we shouldn't have another Avengers movie till 2030. And I remember people were like, "You're insane. We aren't going to have one until 2030." I might even stand by that.
A giant Avengers movie, sure. A giant Avengers movie, sure. Why has it taken so long? Like, they're taking too long to establish certain things that are necessary for this world to, like, continue functioning. Like, establishing Sam Wilson as Captain America should have been your first and most important and vital step.
They get Cap.
You got rid of Iron Man, you got rid of Cap, your 2 team leaders. You needed to establish your next team leader, and you needed to do it quick. You should have focused on Sam Wilson as Captain America and, dare I say, Captain Marvel. Because she's a great team leader. Like, she's a captain.
I was going to say you need to do something with Spidey, and they still haven't.
Spider-Man, I understand just because I know it gets messy with Sony, and Sony are little stupid bitches, and they won't give Marvel Spider-Man.
It should be Captain America, and then even then, like, Strange. Like, someone, like seriously, what are we doing?
Yeah, Captain America.
Who is the
Doctor
leader of the Avengers?
Strange.
Because there are no Avengers right now.
There's no Avengers. There's no leader because they haven't
will they
taken
set
the time.
that up before this movie? If we look at the projects coming out, Blade,
If they
Captain
don't
America Brave New World has to be crucial to that.
If they don't establish within Captain America Brave New World that Sam needs to establish a team, like a literal team, and I'm not talking like a 30-person team, make it
6 to 10.
5 to 8.
Yeah.
Something like that. A small team. And I know they're going to be doing Young Avengers at some point.
They are.
So, you don't need to recruit Kate. I'm sure she's going to be on the Young Avengers. Like, Yelena, I think she's a little too old to be on Young Avengers at this point. Yelena can come up to the big boy team. She can be on the main Avengers.
Well, Thunderbolts apparently are going to be their own team.
Yeah, Thunderbolts are their own team.
So we really have to break this down. And I'm going to tell you who it needs to be.
Captain America.
We know Wong at the end credit scene of Shang-Chi is still out there. So I think you got to get Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
Because Wong's going to be pivotal in forming this team somehow. That's what I remember.
Shang-Chi is good.
Shang-Chi, you get him in there. You got Captain America, all right? You got to have Spidey in there. I know that it could get complicated, but you have to have Spidey in there. People don't know who Peter Parker is, but they know who Spider-Man is.
I don't know if Spider-Man needs to be an Avenger, though.
I think he definitely should be.
That's... I don't know.
Or they could just go, screw it, he's going to...
I'm iffy because Spider-Man, specifically MCU Spider-Man, like, I feel like at this point in his life needs to focus on being
That's fair.
a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. They can pull him in. The Avengers have always loved pulling people in when they need them. Like, they're not afraid of doing that, but that doesn't make them an official Avenger. Like, at the end of Age of Ultron, they kind of established like a B-tier Avengers team with Falcon, Wanda, and Vision, and who else was there? Was it only those 3?
Cap was there, Avi.
Cap was there. He was training them, and then Black
Rhodey
Widow
was there, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, Rhodey. So, like, you've got Sam Wilson, Captain America, replacing Steve Rogers, Captain America. Even though I don't like him and he's getting old, you could have Rhodey to replace Iron Man to do the things that you need Iron Man to do. But you could also replace that with, like,
Where's
with
Ironheart? That's the thing. The MCU...
She's on Young Avengers for sure.
Shuri, Black Panther. There's so much happening in the MCU. Their issue was they had their foundational movies and they did sequels of those, and that was it. And then in 2021 and 2022, they blew the damn doors wide open, and they did, like, Eternal, Shang-Chi, Black Widow, Wakanda Forever, so many different things. All the TV shows introduced all these characters, and now it's like, you got to rein it in, and they can't.
Well, I'm fine with them doing certain projects that don't feel like they're a part of the MCU, but technically they are. Eternals doesn't have any cameos in it, really.
They're never going to show up again. Isn't that crazy?
That makes me sad. I feel like we could totally continue their story, but the Celestial is showing up in Brave New World. But in the confined movie of Eternals, another Marvel character does not show up. There's not a cameo, unless I'm forgetting.
I don't remember.
What are the post-credit scenes? No, it's what's his face with the
what's his...
Yeah. Okay. No cameo, at least that I can remember at this current point in time, happens in Eternals. So the Eternals movie
Harry Styles
that's enough, is in and of itself, right? And I like that. I like Eternals. I'm on the side of people that like Eternals. Like, please do more projects, honestly, that can be standalones. You don't need to bring them into a big giant Avengers movie. I'm okay with that. The Celestial being in Brave New World, I think that's cool. First of all, thank God we're free of people complaining about never talking about this giant thing that's in the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, when it comes to something like Shang-Chi, you have Wong show up in the movie, or you have a post-credit scene that includes Wong and Hulk and Captain Marvel. that includes Shang-Chi in the universe within the confinement of his own movie. So you do have to have Shang-Chi in an Avengers movie, right? Which I think he could be on the Avengers.
We've got so many different timelines now that I'm thinking about it of like where the MCU's
Hawkeye's still around technically.
Yeah, Ant-Man.
Ant-Man could be an Avenger for sure.
There's just
Cassie's
a lot.
on Young Avengers.
Yeah.
Wasp, she's not here anymore because the actress stopped acting.
Strange is like if you think about it right now, the MCU lost their way with post-credit scenes in a very bad way. There was a point in time where every post-credit scene directly connected to an upcoming project or the next two, and it kind of lost its way with Homecoming, which is not that big of a deal. It was like, oh, they could set up Scorpion, but they're not going to. And then in the new phases, they were like, let's just say fuck it, any continuity.
Ironically, the best post-credit scene recently was Quantumania because it was something from Loki.
It set up Loki, and then you got Multiverse of Madness. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe no. The post-credit scene. Clea, I want to say, Charlize Theron shows up. Charlize Theron, she shows up, and she's like, Strange has like this eye on his head, and then is like, we got to go. We might not see a Doctor Strange movie the end of the decade, till 2030.
I'm fine with not seeing Thor anymore. I'm fine with not seeing Doctor Strange anymore, which kills me because I love the first Doctor Strange movie. I really do like Doctor Strange as a character, especially in Infinity War.
Yeah, then Eternals, those post-credit scenes are going nowhere. Shang-Chi might not be going anywhere right now either. It's very concerning where they've gone with the post-credit scenes.
Yeah, they got really project happy and started up a lot of projects, and this is making me depressed to talk about because it's like I kind of want to like grab Kevin Feige by the shoulders and be like, "What are you doing?"
I also just I like to have like order in life and like continuity and completionism mindset, and it's like, oh, that's just not gonna be a thing anymore. That was something I loved about the MCU, like Thor's was it Iron Man 2's post credit scene had like Thor's hammer, like being found by Coulson in the desert, and so like that was cool, and now it's like, oh my gosh, it drives me crazy that we're going to have a loose end for the rest of time. Like Eternals is the loose end of the MCU. It's just we're never going to see its meaning.
And in a way, I feel like if like they could flip things around and they could start to utilize the TV shows to tie up loose ends.
Maybe.
Make 6 episodes about Doctor Strange and Clea. Because I don't really fucking care. Make 6 episodes. Give it a period.
I think that's her name. I don't know. I said Clea. I have no clue.
I don't know.
Charlize.
Cleo, whatever. Give it a
Furiosa.
period. Give it a period at the end. So next time we see Doctor Strange, it's fine. Will it feel messy? Because, last time we saw him in a movie, he had 3 eyes and it gets wrapped up in a show and some people didn't watch the show. So they'll be like, what happened to his 3rd eye? Sure. But do I care? No. If you feel like you went the wrong way in a movie, Kevin Feige, I'm talking to you. If you regret giving Doctor Strange that 3rd eye, fix it in a TV show, call it a day, don't ever talk about it again.
Fair. I brought something on the spot.
Oh, I forgot about this.
That I wanted to ask
you.
He
says he wanted to surprise me with something.
Hugh Jackman said no when asked if the X-Men movies are better than MCU movies. Do you agree? Here is his response, or here's someone's quote tweet that I wanted to mention, okay?
Okay.
And I wanted to get your answer. Days of Future Past alone is better than 70% of the MCU. And so it made me think, let me pull up the MCU projects list.
No, I'm going to pull up my Letterboxd list.
Should we just do movies? Because they say projects.
Yeah. We can agree Days of Future Past specifically is better than every TV show.
We'll go through the entire MCU, and we're going to say if Days of Future Past is better than it or not.
You got it in chronological?
By the end, I can make it chronological.
You make it chronological.
Yeah. Let me look this up real quick. But no, I think if you can do the math, I mean, there's 34 MCU movies.
I think it's interesting. Days of Future Past is kind of like the X-Men's Endgame.
So, right, 34, right?
Uh-huh.
If you multiply that by 0.7, that means that
has to be better than 23? 24
movies.
movies?
Round up?
Yeah.
So is Days of Future Past better than 24 of the MCU movies?
Okay, I'll count on my fingers.
All right, let me look up MCU in order Wikipedia because, frankly, that's the best place to go where I have a list. Okay, we're going to go chronological.
Okay.
And do we both have to agree on it? I think this is fun.
We can try to agree on it.
All right, cool. Let me find the damn list. Show me the list, Wikipedia, you fools. Feature films. Here we go. Oh, didn't list them out like I wanted to. Hold on. Sorry. All right, list of. Apparently I have to go to a completely different one. Here we go. Is Days of Future Past better than Iron Man?
See, already, this is so difficult.
I'm
for me.
saying Iron Man's better.
This is so difficult because like you're comparing something that combines like multiple like two different trilogies of two different like characters.
Yep.
Like one character played by two different actors, and you combine it into one great movie, right?
Yeah.
Versus an origin story. I'll agree with you. No, Days is not better than Iron Man.
Okay.
So I'm not putting a finger up. I'm only gonna put fingers up if it is. If
Put
we
a
say it
finger
is
up.
better.
Okay. Is Days of Future Past better than Incredible Hulk? Yes.
Yes.
Better than Iron Man 2? Yes.
Yeah.
I do have a soft spot for the movie, though. Better than Thor? Yes.
Yeah.
Better than the first Avenger? I think it is.
I think no.
Okay, fine. I'll give you that one. The Avengers. I think The Avengers is better.
I agree.
Iron Man 3? Yes. It's better than Thor's Dark World.
Yep.
I think it's better than The Winter Soldier, but I know the masses would say no.
Fuck no.
Guardians 1.
Uh,
I
Kind.
But I mean,
Kind of think
it's
yes.
but the thing is, it's so almost objectively better than the first Avenger that we kind of have to stick true to Guardians.
No,
Then.
I think.
Don't forget the amount of fingers you're holding up.
I know. This is one, as in I already made five.
Okay, cool.
So we have 5.
Cool.
I think Days is not better than Avengers because of the villain of Avengers is Loki, and Loki is a phenomenal villain in that movie. I think Guardians, as a vibe, as an aesthetic, is a fun movie. It's got jokes. It's got good songs. The villain, ass. That's why I think it's okay to say Days.
I think Days is better than the first Avenger, though. Like that's my point. That I'm.
Oh, you meant like Captain America: The First Avenger. I thought you meant like the Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well let me start back over. I still think Red Skull is a better villain than who the fuck is the villain in the first Guardians movie?
Ronan the Accuser.
Okay, enough said. Case closed.
So is Days of Future Past better than Guardians?
I can give it to you if you don't think it is.
I take Guardians,
Okay, so then.
but
that's
not by a
no.
lot.
Okay, that's fine.
I think Days of Future Past is better than Age of Ultron. Yes.
That's fair.
I think it's better than Ant-Man. Days of Future Past is fucking fire. Did we forget?
I'd say it's better than Ant-Man.
Civil War, no.
Fuck no.
Doctor Strange, I think it is, and I think you have to give that one to me.
Yeah, I'll give you that one.
It's
I love Doctor Strange.
Guardians 2, as much as I love, I take it over Guardians 2.
Definitely better than Guardians 2.
Homecoming, that's tough.
I don't know, honestly.
I mean,
Probably.
It's better than Homecoming by a hair, I think.
But I just love Vulture.
But I mean, God, Days of Future Past.
Okay, so that's
The
we're at 10.
Quicksilver scene, yeah. It's better than Ragnarok, I think. I rarely go back to is Days of Future Past better than Black Panther? I think it is. I think it is.
I have to think.
Magneto versus Killmonger. Magneto.
Yeah, I guess.
Quicksilver
yeah.
scene versus anything in that movie.
Yeah.
Infinity War, no.
No.
Ant-Man and the Wasp, yes.
Yeah, obviously.
Captain Marvel, yes.
Yeah.
Endgame, no.
No.
Spider-Man Far From Home, I take Days of Future Past over it. All right, we're getting to the multiverse stuff
We're at
now.
15.
So how many more do we need? 9?
Yeah.
I don't know if we have 9 left, but we can go. I don't think there are, but we can still go to see how many.
Are we seeing just within the Infinity Saga?
No, we're doing the whole MCU.
Right.
movies.
Okay, keep going.
We can do TV shows, though, if we want.
Keep going.
And that'll probably definitely take it over. But we'll do movies. Is Days of Future Past better than Black Widow? Yes.
Yeah.
Is it better than Shang-Chi? Yes.
Yes.
Is it better than Eternals? Yes. Is it better than No Way Home? No.
No.
Is it better than Multiverse of Madness? Yes.
Yes.
Is it better than Love and Thunder? Yes.
Fuck yes.
Is it better than Wakanda Forever? Yes.
Yes.
Is it better than Quantumania?
Yes.
Yes. We just tear it off like all of it. Is it better than Guardians 3? I will say no, but it is arguable.
I'll give you the no.
Here's the thing. Rewatchability goes to Days of Future Past
It does.
by a lot. And I love
But
Guardians 3.
emotion goes to Guardians
I give
3.
it to Guardians 3. Is it better than the Marvels? Yes.
Yes.
In the last one, is it better than Deadpool and Wolverine? I give the edge to Deadpool and Wolverine.
How many did we need? 24? This is the
This
deciding.
is the deciding vote. This is the deciding
So
vote.
technically, if we included all the projects that Marvel's
If you throw in
done,
First Avenger, which should be on this list, then
No.
yes.
No,
But,
I like First Avenger. It's shat on way too much. It's a really fun period.
She might have been
piece.
cooking, this person who tweeted this, but
She got lucky with her percentage that she picked.
She did the math. Come on, she's probably a Letterboxd nerd. We all are.
It depends on if I put my pinky up right now. I think it is better than.
I think Deadpool and
Wolverine.
Wolverine's better.
I disagree,
But if you put the finger up, you put it up. I put it up for First Avenger. You put it up for Deadpool.
it evens out.
It evens
Yeah,
out. So we can do that.
that's crazy.
So yes, X-Men.
So
Days
she
of Future Past.
technically is correct.
X-Men: Days of Future Past alone is better than 70% of the MCU movies.
Yeah. So what? X-Men got one good movie out of how many?
I would say that we could actually substitute. First Class is better than a good chunk of them. Logan is better than a good chunk of them. I think Deadpool 1 and 2 are better than a good chunk of them. So, like, if you want to go Fox X-Men movies versus the MCU, like, you're going to have a battle there to see what is better. Now, obviously, the highest highs of the MCU, you really can't beat, like Infinity War, Endgame, No Way Home, Civil War, Iron Man.
I think that there's a lot of bad comic book movies that exist. There's
a lot of shit
There's a
stains.
lot of mediocre comic book movies that exist both within the MCU and outside of the MCU. X-Men has a lot of mediocre comic book movies. DC has a lot of mediocre comic book movies.
Not even just bad. Outright bad.
Marvel, now that they're producing mediocre comic book movies, like, is getting a lot of shit, and it's because they've had a reputation of producing like above mediocre movies for so long. So it's like in a way kind of unfair. Like, I feel like when the new Superman movie comes out, like, it could be a medium tier movie, but because it's going to be better than most things DC's done in a minute,
Yeah,
people are going to praise the fuck out of it, no matter what's in it.
you're probably correct, Cam.
Like, I'm going to be someone that watches Superman, no reference of Superman at all in my life. I'm going to be able to watch it as a movie, as is. I haven't seen a single Henry Cavill Superman movie, have I?
No.
Haven't seen a lick of it. So I'm going to be very unbiased to the character of Superman. I'm going to be able to view it as a movie. I'm very interested to see where I fall amongst.
Fair. I
people that
also think
love
you made a good
Superman.
point. I wanted to make a sports sort of analogy, I guess. I don't know.
Sure, go ahead.
It's like if Superman Legacy is a fine movie, but it's so much better than everything that came before. It's like when a football team hires a coach and like the team historically is like 3-9 or like misses a bowl game and they go like 6-6 and it's like, oh, we made a bowl, we're in the right direction, but we're still not good.
You can say Georgia Tech.
It's kind of like that.
Yeah, and it's that's exactly what it is. When you've been trending downwards for so long,
Yeah.
and you finally
You get
start
a-
to
you
trend
get a bit-
upwards,
a bit of a win.
You
feel elated.
you get a lot of grace as a franchise.
You
You get
do
a
get
lot
grace.
of grace.
You get a lot of
Superman
grace.
Legacy is going to get a lot of grace as a
It is.
movie, 100%.
Or
It
not.
could be. I mean, there's some people that are going to be able to see through whatever. Like I
The
think
Snyder cultists will bring it down.
I think our friend Alex from the Escape Pod, if Superman Legacy is bad, he will let you know, right? Like he's gonna let you know, even if it's not bad and he just thinks it's bad. Like he'll let you know his points. But like, there's some people that won't be able to see through if it's bad or not, or just mediocre. Like not even bad. Bad's like a strong word, borderline. Like I'm talking like middle tier movie, a fine movie, a 3.5 out of 5 on Letterboxd movie. But people will view it as a 5 out of 5 because it's so much better than anything DC's done.
Yeah.
So this movie is going to get a lot of grace because they've been expecting nothing and they're getting something. Marvel is the exact opposite, and I wish people were a little less harsh and gave a little more grace. Now, that's not saying Marvel
You
isn't
just-
allowed to have critique.
Yeah.
Fully allowed to critique Marvel. I think it's important we critique Marvel and let them know when we think they're doing the wrong thing, i.e. Robert Downey Jr. coming back for Doctor Doom, i.e. too many projects in 1 year. Like, these are critiques that are valid, and I think that we should let them know, and I'm glad that we have. But things like Deadpool Wolverine, like, not being the greatest movie Marvel's ever made, hey, let's relax a little bit.
Two things. One, continuing the sports thing, you made me think of the MCU when Endgame came out is much like when Alabama or Georgia are like on these dominant runs. And so like the fans were just accustomed to undefeated national championship seasons, and like they have one little misstep and it's like, oh, you're overcritical of it. That's how it was with Marvel, opposite of DC. Two, a lot of people out there have seen reactions online. There is a segment of the Marvel fandom that's like, Deadpool Wolverine's the greatest movie ever, blah, blah, blah. And people are like, oh, no, it isn't. And I'm like, people act like it's new. People are acting like it is new for a new movie in 2024 to be called the greatest movie ever. There have been 10 movies that have come out this year I could name that have been called the greatest movie ever on Twitter. If you see someone say that and you're like, oh, that makes this movie overrated, you just haven't been on film Twitter,
need to
because
understand
Dune
hyperbole.
2 is the greatest movie to grace God's green earth.
Haven't seen it.
Challengers is the greatest movie ever made. Deadpool Wolverine is the greatest movie ever made. Inside Out 2 is the greatest movie ever made. Those are 4, and I'm not even done. Long Legs to Some, the greatest horror masterpiece of all time. Haven't even seen it.
It's almost like
it's every movie that comes
the
out.
phrase "greatest movie ever made" has just become in
Yes.
itself it's just an adjective of
Correct.
saying the movie was good.
Yes. And so it's not like, if I see that now, I'm numb to it, and I suggest you watching or listening should do the same, because I have seen people will be like, use that against Deadpool. They're like, oh, well, it's not the greatest movie ever made. Well, yeah.
I
to
hope
some
no,
it might be, but
no one
that's
genuinely thinks that. Like, you were even for a little bit like questioning giving it a 5 out of 5 on Letterboxd for yourself, because you were like, well, I've also given Oppenheimer a 5 out of 5, and they're not the same movie in any way, shape, or form. Like,
there's different types of 5s.
yes,
that
that's
I
what I said to you.
And like the truly perfect movie and the truly perfect experience.
There's movies where like they are what they are, like Oppenheimer, where it's like the movie itself is a 5 out of 5. Like, it's got
For me,
X.
not
It
for
check. I know, you know what I mean. It checks X, Y, and Z off. Like, it's, or like Inception or
I think
something.
Back to the Future is probably the best example you can give.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like, it checks X, Y, and Z off. Like, it's like it's just like a good fucking movie.
No one
It
can
is a
even
5 out of
argue.
5. Really hard to argue that it isn't. Then there's other movies that are a 5 out of 5 to you personally.
Yes.
When you watch them, you feel a 5 out of 5, like in your own soul. Me, my top 4 movies on Letterboxd, when we went on the Escape Pod podcast and they asked us what our top 4 were, I went after you and I was like, I'm gonna be embarrassing. If you clip this, your TikTok is gonna yell at me. My top 4 on Letterboxd are fucking Sleeping Beauty, Social Network, Age of Adeline, and Footloose 2011. Footloose 2011 is a 5 out of 5 movie for me. Is it a 5 out of 5 movie? Fuck no. Is Step Up 3?
But like, I also
Is Step Up
I
3
see
a
what
5
you're
out of 5
saying,
movie?
but at the same time, and I say this respectfully, like, I hate that train of thought as well, because it makes it seem like you yourself or the people who are like that are aware of like, oh, well, this movie's actually not good. But if you actually love it and you do like I truly love Deadpool Wolverine. I truly think it's a great movie.
It's less that. It's more like...
And it kind of feeds into the division
Different
of the
movies-
film Twitter pretentiousness
I
versus
know-
the Marvel fan bros.
I know what you mean, and that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying like different movies. It's more acknowledging that not every movie is the same kind of movie. Trying to compare a 5 out of 5 Oppenheimer to a 5 out of 5 Step Up 3 is the most pointless thing I've ever seen in my life.
I know. Yeah.
If you ask any dancer what the best Step Up movie is, 90% of them will probably say Step Up 3 to you, which I know you'd never do that, but you know what I mean? Like, Pitch Perfect, better example, more wide-known movie. Pitch Perfect is like a phenomenal comedy, right? I think Pitch Perfect is one of the best movies ever, like non-hyperbole. Like, I
Fair.
love Pitch Perfect. It is so funny to me. I could quote it for you. I watch it all the time. I think it's a great movie. It paces really well. Like, I think it's a 5 out of 5 movie. But if I were to try and sit here and compare Oppenheimer to Pitch Perfect, I'd be wasting oxygen. But those movies serve two totally different purposes. Deadpool and Wolverine and Inception serve two widely different purposes.
Yes.
You can give them both the same score, but those scores mean different things because they're very different movies.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, that's what I'm trying
I
to say.
agree.
I'm not
I agree.
acknowledging that, like, oh, the movies that I like, that I give a 5 out of 5 stars to, I'm aware they're not really good movies, but I like them. Like, no, that's not what I'm saying. I see what you mean, but that's not exactly what I'm saying. It's just like, once you acknowledge that certain movies can serve different purposes, but they can still be a 5 out of 5 or whatever score you want to give it, you will then know peace.
Fair. Very well said. I agree.
When
Like,
people understand,
Like
that-
I do think you have to review, even if you're coming at this from a critical standpoint.
yeah,
You watch 21 Jump Street, and
You're watching
you
a
watch
comedy.
and you watch, Hereditary, a random horror movie that a lot of people love. I haven't seen it. You don't look for the same things in those movies.
if anybody ever came up to me and said that, the way that the lighting in the room just changed because the sun is so funny.
Oh yeah.
If anybody ever came up to me and said that Schmidt's character arc in 21 Jump Street is flat, I'd smack them upside the face. I'd literally slap them. I'd be like, what are you saying to me?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, that
Bring up
movie's
tapping
hilarious.
each other's assholes.
Yeah, it's also funny because, like, it's genuinely such a great script.
Yeah. course.
And so I think that oftentimes too, like, not to open the door to that conversation, but like the Academy dismisses horror, it dismisses superhero films, it dismisses comedies. And it's
crazy.
very frustrating because they are still, they should still be viewed as like art.
Yes. Yes.
Just because they're a different genre. Not everything has to be a
Yes.
serious drama.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
different movies elicit different emotions. They're for different situations of life. And it's, I love Deadpool and Wolverine. It's a 5 out of 5 to me. I don't have to defend that to anybody.
And
I also just think it's a 5 out of 5. And I hate, that's why I like love and hate Letterboxd. It's like, I give it a 5 out of 5 and everyone's like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. It's like, that's just how I feel about the movie.
When people realize that, like, when it comes to something like
it's
a movie,
not that serious.
when it comes to things like movies, like a movie can do a different thing for a million different people in different ways, and like it doesn't have to be what it was to you to somebody else.
Yeah.
If you didn't like the movie, that doesn't mean that somebody else doesn't have to like it. Me, for example, one of my favorite movies of all time is Sleeping Beauty, the cartoon from whenever the fuck 1950s.
9, I want to say.
Huh?
1959.
Of course. And
I have to fact check myself.
I'm fully aware that not everybody in my life is going to like that movie. My best friend in the entire world, Jenna, she doesn't like that movie. She likes Disney princess movies. I think her favorite is Ariel. And I'm not the biggest Ariel fan, right? And she doesn't like Sleeping Beauty. We've talked about it ad nauseum. And she doesn't budge and I don't budge, and we're both stubborn, and that's what I love about us. But like, I'm literally looking at like all of my Sleeping Beauty artwork that I have in this room. Up here on this top shelf normally is like a Sleeping Beauty shrine. It got moved because Percy Jackson was here, so I moved Percy Jackson up, and then Deadpool and Wolverine are here. And like, I have like one person on this earth that loves Sleeping Beauty like I do, and it's my friend Sophia. And she's like the only person that I can talk to and be like, oh my God, look at this. This is so Aurora coded. She's the only one that gets it, and that's fine. And I totally understand when people are like, oh, Sleeping Beauty is boring. Doesn't she sleep the whole time? I'll be like, no, actually, she only sleeps for about 5 minutes, but I can see where you're coming from. Like, if once you just are able to accept that you can dislike a movie, but other people can love it, and vice versa, you'll be free.
Yeah. Well said.
Free from the chains and the shackles of life.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. Like, that's all there is to it.
Yeah.
I'm not losing sleep over the fact that people don't like Deadpool and Wolverine. Like, I loved it. That's all there is to it.
I find it's always interesting when like people like something and I see someone trying to make them dislike it and try and tell them why they're wrong for liking it. I think it's more justified the other way around. Like, if you didn't like Deadpool and Wolverine and I was trying to tell you reasons why, like, oh, you know, you should see it from this angle. Like, what I do with Falcon Winter Soldier, lots of people that don't like Falcon Winter Soldier, and I try to give them reasons why I think they should view it from a different lens, they should like it, etc., etc. That is almost acceptable because you're not like, I'm not like disparaging you for liking something. I'm not saying you're stupid for liking something. I'm trying to get you to enjoy something that I also enjoy. You know what I mean? But if it was the other way around and you constantly shit on me for liking Falcon Winter Soldier, like, that's just like mean.
Yeah, fair.
You don't have to shit on somebody for liking something. And that's all I have to say.
I think that's a good note to end on.
I do. I agree.
I also have to pee.
Okay. Oh, my bug bites itch. I have 40 bug bites on my legs.
But yeah, that was a fun one. A little return. A nice long return.
How long has it been? I can't see the
At least an hour 40 about to hit.
word.
Yeah, so a cinematic event, if you will. Almost the same length as M. Night Shyamalan's Trap, which hits theaters this week.
Okay, wrap it up.
Yeah, but that does it for this episode, The Return. I thought you were going to talk. I lost you fully.
I'm itching my
Stop
bug
doing that.
bites. It itches.
It's gonna scar.
I know.
Stop.
Okay, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like this video and comment down below if you liked Deadpool and Wolverine, and also let us know how you feel about RDJ coming back as Dr. Dim. I'm very curious to see what you guys think about it. Give us 5 stars or whatever, a nice review on Spotify.
Please do that. Also, let us know all your thoughts on everything we discussed down below. Subscribe, hit the notification bell.
Follow us on Instagram and TikTok.
Yeah, expect more episodes eventually.
We're back, bitch.
Maybe clips by the end of the year. And
hey, I got shit I have to do. If you want to make a clip, make a clip.
I may make a clip. We'll see. But yeah, I'm going to go pee. And it's going to feel nice. And you're going to itch your bug bite. And
I am going to itch my bug bite.
And with that, go see Deadpool and Wolverine.
Go watch the spoiler review on Chris's channel.
And, of course, Stay unusual.
Crushed it.